Living in the Netherlands, pros and cons. G'day guys, how's it going? My name is AussieTash. I come across this particular video. I'm learning a lot about the Netherlands, a lot about the beautiful cities, about the royal families. Let's find out about the pros and cons of living in the Netherlands. I'll compare it to Australia. Let's get into it.
Living in the Netherlands, the pros and cons.
Looks so green.
It doesn't matter whether you're relocating for business, education, or just because you want a change of scenery. Moving to a new nation may be stressful for a lot of people.
Oh my gosh.
Therefore, before deciding to live in Holland, you have to take into consideration a variety of variables, including the cost of living, the community, the school system, the level of safety, the availability of employment, and the environment. According to the third rule of Newton, which states that every act has an equal and opposing response, living in the Netherlands has both positive and negative aspects to it. Consider all of the perks of living in the Netherlands, then make a final decision about making the move there. Pros. 1. High-quality education.
Okay.
The World Economic Forum places the Netherlands at the third spot on its list of countries with the highest levels of education. It is estimated that around 81% of persons between the ages of 25 and 64 have finished at least their upper secondary school, which is greater than the average for the OECD, which is 79%. If you are relocating with your children, you do not need to worry about their education, since pupils continue to gain knowledge and the capacity to read and write, as well as research, mathematics, scientific, economic, and social skills. If you are relocating with your kids, you are already safe and secure. In addition, the school system in the Netherlands promotes you to grow in your chosen field of work. 2.
Okay, so education, a high level of education. In Australia, we have the state school system. So all the way from prep to year 12, it's free. There is private schools and stuff like that you have to pay to go to, but we do have a free state school education. When it comes to university, I think you might call it college over there. Not quite too sure. It is free to go to these classes. It is free to go to university. At the end, when you have finished, you will and acquire a bill while you've been going to university. You have to start paying that bill once you get a job. It'll come out of your taxes. So it is free, sort of. It's called HEX, but it's sort of not free at the same time. It's free while you're there, while you're taking the classes, while you're going through university. But once you get a job, the bill that you acquired through your studies, you have to pay off. Okay, that is education in Australia compared to the Netherlands.
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
Having health insurance is a legal requirement in the Netherlands.
Really?
And residents are expected to comply. As a result of the relatively high cost of the compulsory monthly payment for health insurance, a great number of individuals are unsatisfied with it. However, this is a significant perk of living in the Netherlands as a Dutch citizen. You will never have to spend a significant amount of money out of pocket to obtain medical assistance. This is a government benefit.
Okay.
Some people get the impression that they are throwing their money away since they don't need medical attention too often.
I like
However,
this.
once they reach the point where they need medical attention, they will get it. 3.
Okay, I really like that it is compulsory to pay for healthcare. I do like that. In Australia, we have what's called Medicare. It's something that you pay for in your taxes. Do we have free healthcare system? Yes and no. You can go and see a doctor under the bulk billing scheme, but many doctors these days are choosing not to do it, so you have to pay to go to a doctor. Operations and stuff like that, yes, they are free depending on what it is. Elective surgeries, there's waiting lists and stuff like that. Treatment for cancer and chemo and stuff, that is all free. It just all depends on whether you want to go through the private system, you have to pay for that, or just the normal system where there is waiting lists and stuff like that. My family, we have what's called extras, an extras healthcare benefit. We don't pay for hospital. Unfortunately, it's expensive. Extras covers things like dental and optical and stuff like that. So, glasses and teeth and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I do love the idea of making healthcare a compulsory payment. Well done to the Netherlands. I know you might use it in your earlier years, but in your later years, you'll use it down the track. You never know what's going to happen. And you paying it every month makes it possible for people who need it there and then to use it. So I really do like that idea. Something that Australia would be really cool to adopt, but I don't think we'd do it. I think we'd have the attitude that why should I pay for it if I'm not going to use it? Cost of living in Australia is already an absolute shambles. So yeah, as cool as the idea would sound, I don't think it would ever happen here.
A low rate of crime. The Netherlands was classified as the 21st safest nation in the world,
Okay.
according to the world's safest country ranking for the year 2021. However, your safety is not completely assured no matter where you go, since you run the risk of becoming a victim of small crimes, such as pickpocketing. When travelling to a new country, safety is a valid worry for everyone, but it is particularly important for households with kids and women who are travelling alone.
Okay.
The Netherlands are a rather risk-free destination. However, you should stay away from places with a high crime rate and adopt the appropriate safety measures. Taking sensible measures such as securing your home and vehicle behind you when you leave, installing a burglar alarm, and so on.
Okay, so a low rate of crime. Australia, we do have a low rate of crime in terms of things like gun control and stuff. We don't have guns here. No one can have guns. Not even security officers can have guns, mate. Only police officers can have guns. And sometimes, depending on what area they're at, they've only got a taser. They don't even have guns. Our gun laws are so strict. I'll be proud of it. Some of us are, some of us are not. I'm 100% down for it, mate. I love how strict our gun laws are. Believe it or not, our gun laws are the way they are because Australia, if you believe this, actually has the biggest shooting massacre in history in the whole world. Not in America, but here in Australia. A man called Martin Bright in the 1990s, some year, went to Tasmania and shot I think 30 people, 27 people in a mass shooting. After that, our Prime Minister said, no more guns, that's it. He paid people to hand over guns. Whether they were licensed, unlicensed, illegal, it didn't matter. He gave people money to hand over the guns, burnt them all, and made our gun laws some of the toughest and strictest in the world. Unfortunately, Australia, we have lots of petty crime, lots of car thefts, and in Queensland, where I'm at the moment, the issue is juvenile crime. They're stealing cars, they're doing crazy illegal things, but yeah, I guess like you said, crime is going to be everywhere. Do I feel safe in Australia? Yes, I do. Do I lock my doors? Yeah, I do lock my doors, but that's not a safety thing. That's just what I do. What security features do I have? I have the ring, the ring alarm bell and stuff like that. I just think everyone should have that. It's really cool. Do I feel safe in Australia? Yes. Am I comfortable? Can I comfortably say that we are a nation with a low crime rate? Yeah, I think we can comfortably say that.
4. It's small and easy to get around. Because the Netherlands is not a very huge country, getting around to its many cities is not difficult. There is an abundance of public transit options obtainable in every given location, including railroads, buses, trolleys and metros. Because of its compact size, there is no need to engage in time-consuming travel while going from one location to another. The terrain in the Netherlands is mostly flat, which encourages inhabitants to adopt a culture of riding.
I love the biking.
If you invest in a bicycle, you'll be able to reach your destination on 2 wheels thanks to the existence of dedicated bike lanes. In addition, riding is good for your health and is better for the environment. 5. Having a high standard of living.
Okay.
For both natives and foreigners, housing expenses make up a significant portion of the overall cost of living in the Netherlands. Prices in the Randstad, which includes the 4 main cities in the Netherlands, may be very expensive. Utrecht's rent is third highest in the Netherlands, behind only that of Amsterdam and The Hague. The cost of living in the Netherlands is higher than the average in the European Union. When separated by type, you'll find that transportation expenses and hotel and dining costs are much more than the EU average, but energy and gas are around average. However, there is a pricing disparity between rural and urban areas.
Yes.
Rent and groceries may be cheaper in rural areas, but getting around may cost more.
Okay, so cost of living in Australia at the moment, it's absolutely disgusting. After COVID, interest rates, they're just going higher and higher and higher. If you got a mortgage just before COVID, you are really feeling the pinch now, man. It's absolutely insane. Prices of everything is going up here in Australia. Rental, mortgage, food, petrol, everything. Guys, remember where we are. We're all the way, all over here by ourselves. We get lots of things imported, so we've got to pay for tariffs and all that extra stuff. So, yeah, we have to pay a lot more for things. Cost of living in Australia is pretty bad. When it comes to things like food, for example, fresh fruit and vegetables are really, really expensive. It's easier to eat disgusting takeaway food like McDonald's and stuff and KFC and stuff like that. And that's really, really sad because it's just sometimes you have to do it. It's cheaper to feed your family at McDonald's for a full dinner than it is to buy fresh produce and meat and vegetables from your butcher and stuff like that. So if you ever wanted to move to Australia, that's something you really need to consider, the cost of living here.
6. You won't have time to become bored. The laid-back attitude of cafes in this nation, as well as the summer music festivals that take place in parks and other public areas, are perfect settings for getting together with old friends and establishing new ones. There are also other cultural events that get a lot of support that take place throughout the year. During these events, museums and art galleries charge just a little admission cost to the general public. 7. Very clean.
Mm-hmm.
The health category in which the Netherlands was evaluated had a high score of 91. Additionally, the nation did very well in terms of the quality of its drinking water and sanitation systems. Its system for managing solid waste is likewise exceptional, and it has received a score of 100, which indicates that it collects and handles 100% of its solid trash. Because of all of these qualities, the Netherlands is a very clean nation that is also quite habitable.
Very clean. I can see the Netherlands being very clean. That would have a lot to do with the cycling as well. Because it's so small, they said people cycle a lot. If you cycle, you're taking cars off the road. Man, unfortunately, where we live, it's very overpopulated and there are cars everywhere. I mean everywhere. It's horrible. If you live way, way out in the outback, which no one ever does, I guess the air quality and stuff would be cleaner out there, but then they've got snakes and spiders and hot, hot sun and it never rains, so you're never going to live out there. There's cars everywhere. There's congestion. Is the air quality clean in Australia? I guess it probably would be, but mate, the sound of the cars and everything, it's just horrible. Our public transport system in Australia, where I live, in the city areas outside the city, is it good? Yeah, I mean, it's good. We've got the train network, we've got the bus network. There's also a really good ferry networks as well. Is it good? Yeah, it's good, but I don't think our air quality would be anything like the Netherlands. I think your air quality would be like way, way, way up there, man. I think it would be awesome. Some of the pictures I see, the grass is the greenest, greenest grass I've ever seen, and that would come down to air quality, wouldn't it? 100% would come down to air quality.
Cons.
1. Okay.
Accommodation. In the Netherlands, there is a significant and widespread shortage of housing.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, it is possible that it will be challenging to locate a fantastic property at an affordable price. The rental of a private residence from a landlord is one possibility. However, the rates for private rentals are quite expensive, since landlords are conscious of the housing situation and the majority of landlords utilise this to their benefit.
Oh, yeah.
2. The current climate. The Netherlands has a mild year-round climate because to their proximity to the ocean. Because of this, the harsh winters may be tolerated and the warm summer days can be enjoyed. On paper, the weather of the Netherlands, which is notoriously windy, rainy and uncertain, is often considered to be moderate. In point of fact, the coldest part of winter lasts from October until April, keeping the Dutch cooped up inside their homes for the better part of the year. If you decide to spend the day at a beach in the Netherlands, you should be prepared for the possibility that a heavy rainstorm may force you to sprint to your vehicle while wrapping yourself in your beach towel for protection.
Oh my gosh.
The climate in Holland is unpredictable in many different ways. Because of Holland's closeness to the North Pole, another one of the country's fascinating characteristics is that the sun doesn't set until 10 p.m. throughout the summer.
Wow.
This quality does, however, come with a drawback. During the winter months, the sun sets at 4 in the afternoon.
Okay, so I have heard about the Netherlands and it is very, very windy and it can be very, very rainy. Well, here in Australia, it's the complete opposite, man. It seems like your winters, they go for a long time, Well, in Australia, our summers, they go for a long time and they are hot, they are stinky, and they are disgusting. Would I like a Netherlands winter? I reckon I absolutely would. Do I see that as a con? I don't think so because I just don't like the Queensland or Australian summers. The humidity is disgusting. It's stinky. You've got to have your aircon on. You walk outside for like 2 seconds and you're ready to pass out. It is just horrible.
3. The costs associated with driving tickets may add up quickly. The Dutch are known for their obedient behaviour.
Okay.
The norms and regulations that have been established are adhered to very precisely. Planning and organisation are taken very seriously, since you are expected to notify the appropriate people if you are going to be late for any kind of meeting, no matter how informal it may be. The Dutch culture does not encourage or value spontaneity very highly. 4. It is challenging to create new acquaintances. Even though most Dutch people are aware of this fact, conversational English is not sufficient. You are going to need to educate yourself in Dutch, since the majority of the descriptions, announcements, goods and parcels are all in Dutch. You are going to need to utilise Google Translate whenever you go to public locations like the grocery or railway stations until you master the local language.
Okay, let's talk about the speeding tickets and the ticket tariffs. In Australia, the government, they love it. They make the fines so high because they are addicted to just getting the money from Australians speeding and doing the wrong thing. Are they doing the wrong thing by speeding? Yes, they absolutely are. But the prices of the fines are just absolutely crazy insane. The government, they just want the money, and mate, the fines can be like $600, $800, $1,000. It's absolutely crazy. Going back to rental prices, the same here as in Australia, mate. They will rent out the price to the highest bidder. That's what they're doing, especially after COVID. It's just getting crazy. It's getting harder and harder to find a rental property anywhere in Australia, and they are raising the prices because they know that people need to find rental properties, and they're just going to give the place to the highest bidder. It's pretty bad.
It is not simple to penetrate a Dutch circle of friends because Dutch people spend around half the year inside, curled up on their sofas in their cosy homes, and their lives are dominated by their agendas. You will understand this when you see how the Dutch spend their time. If you want to make friends in Holland, the greatest time to do it is in the summer.
Okay.
The Dutch are known for their warm and welcoming nature. When people start walking about in flip-flops, when parks are crowded with throwaway grills, and when tepid white wine is served in plastic glasses, it's time to mix and mingle. In general, people who live in the Netherlands have a great quality of life because the infrastructure is well kept, there is very little corruption, the crime rate is low, there is a healthy bicycle culture, a healthy work-life balance, and relatively dependable services across the board. Even after considering all of the potential drawbacks, our research suggests that relocating to the Netherlands is never going to be an utterly terrible choice.
Okay. All right. There you go, guys. The pros and cons of living in the Netherlands. I threw in some comparisons between the Netherlands and Australia. Man, there's some similarities there as well. Flip-flops. You call them flip-flops. Here's some Aussie slang for you. We call them thongs. I know what you guys are thinking. You call them what? We call them thongs. Okay, that was the video for today, guys. If you liked it, please jump on, smash the like button, leave a comment, and of course, remember to subscribe. That really helps me out. Cheers from down under. Take care. Bye.